Kyle, we are officially 2 days away from Wimbledon. Draw was out yesterday, and we're here to dissect it all. And I think the place that everyone's eyes were looking at immediately the second the draw came out, before
Oh
the draw came
yeah.
out, was where 23-time Grand Slam champion and a woman who hasn't played in 4 years. The unknown of it is amplifying the incredibility of this return. Serena Williams, Carl. She's come out on the bottom half of the draw in the same quarter
Yes.
as Iga Swiatek. She would potentially be a third round opponent, but perhaps it is incredibly naive to predict that third round already, because she's got to get through two matches before that. A first round, Kyle, with Maya Joint from Australia, which I think you have to say is probably the best possible draw for Serena Williams. Maya Joint's won one match of her last 14 matches. She hasn't won a WTA level match since the 15th of January. Like, that is the loss of form that Maya Joint has had this year. She obviously won Eastbourne last year, but Maya Joint, Carl, I mean, this has got to be possibly for Serena Williams the best possible draw out of anybody. But if she gets through that, she's got Alexandra Ayala in the second round, which you have to say is
Yeah.
incredibly tough.
So I'm not gonna say it's the best possible draw, but best possible first round. Definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Serena Williams' draw right now is the first round winning a match. I think for Serena Williams to
Oh
win a
yeah.
match would be a
This
tournament
is.
for her.
Oh yeah. Exactly. Just to be able to stay for the extra couple of days. She make the most of that hotel accommodation and the love for the fight.
Yeah.
She needs it.
She
So
needs that. She absolutely needs that.
no, yeah. So my joint is definitely a good first round for her to get. Not just like feel into it as well, but the fact that I think she physically does have a good chance to take this one. Obviously, you never know how she's gonna feel out there on the court. You don't know if she's gonna get stiff. I probably won't. I probably wouldn't bet on it because she is Serena Williams. She's leading in the opener of most Grand Slams to the women. She's the GOAT of women's tennis, and even people could say tennis overall. But the American Serena Williams has got a good first round in my joint, and then obviously the 29th seed in Alexandra Ayala from the Philippines. I think that's going to be extremely tough after that. But we don't want to look too far ahead, Nick. People are here for one thing and one thing only, and that is to see the arguably best female tennis player of all time. It's going to be on center court because it has to, right? There's no way they're not putting that on center.
There's no
And
question it's not on centre court.
no question, no question. And if they don't, we're going to have another full emergency pod on
Yeah.
why and what their scheduling is like. So
Yeah.
this is definitely going to be the highlight of the day. I wonder when this is going to be played. Probably maybe a night session, maybe a mid like afternoon. What do you think? Wednesday
I
would be
reckon
best.
last on,
Yeah,
probably. I reckon, but I mean, it's so difficult to predict because we literally haven't seen anything of Serena Williams in 4 years' time. Like, this is how ludicrous and mental this whole storyline is. I mean, we've seen her in doubles. She's played
exactly.
at
Nothing.
Queen's. She's played with Mukova in Berlin, but on the singles court, we have got absolutely nothing to go by. No evidence, no data. Um,
I know.
Since 4 years, she could go out and lose love and love, right? Or she could go out and win 2-2. And I think that the draw, in terms of, having said that this is an incredible draw for Serena Williams in terms of Maya Joint's lack of form. I mean, form is completely gone out the window. I mean, she's struggled to even win matches at ITF level. But having
Yeah.
said that, there is equally the possibility that she beats Serena Williams, because we just do not know what Serena Williams is going to turn up with. And look, if Serena Williams somehow manages to get through that match, and if she somehow manages to get through Alexandra Ayala, which I think we're both predicting she would not probably get through, because Ayala
Yeah.
is playing some great tennis. She's got obviously that incredible following from the Philippines. It would be potentially, Carl, a Iga Swiatek third round for Serena Williams, which, look, I mean, it seems silly speculating the fact that we could have an Iga Swiatek third round, but I mean, I think you probably have to, don't you? I mean, the fact that the possibility of Serena Williams against Iga Swiatek is absolutely mental in my eyes, and look, I absolutely hope that we get Serena Williams against Iga Swiatek to of the greats in the women's game, the defending champion of Iga Swiatek going up against the 23-time Grand Slam champion of Serena Williams. I mean, it seems silly even trying to predict or even trying to preview it, Carl, but I think we have to. Right, I think we have to as tennis podcasters. I mean, do you think there's a sliver of hope that we could possibly get Serena Williams against Iga Swiatek?
That is so hard because we have literally zero statistics and zero knowledge on how she's going to be in the singles. And I know this isn't even answering your question, but it's really just an I don't know, because we know what she's capable of. We know Serena Williams' game style. She hits the ball like a bat out of hell. She can smack it past literally anyone. She's got an insanely good left hand somehow when that she's been working on that return to serve. I saw warming up on centre court, being introduced to some of the players and stuff, because obviously 4 years she doesn't really even know some of the ladies who are in the tour right now, you know. So
I mean, Maya Joint, right, is less than half her age.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
Serena Williams had won 7 Grand Slams before Maya Joint was born. Like, that is how mental this is. Serena Williams does not know who Maya Joint is, let's be honest. Like, she's never really heard of her before this draw, I reckon.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, I guess it's a good thing for both players, really. It can be pros and cons, because you've got the fact that Maya Joint hasn't seen Serena Williams play tennis in over 4 years, so you don't know what her strengths and weaknesses are. You can probably guess, and the team's probably going to help her guess that there's going to be some things like you've probably got the stamina, the movement, maybe some of the feeling and the touch is going to be a little bit off without playing in so long. And then you've obviously got the pros, which is like that mental fortitude. You've got that aggression. You've got the power. You've got, there's a lot of things. You just got that pure, that kind of mentality of Serena Williams that we all know and love, and just such a smart tennis player as well. There's so many things that you can talk about it, and then obviously you've got Serena Williams who doesn't have a clue who she's really playing. She's probably done some research a little bit about who this player is, but going into it, she's kind of blind as well, and that can be good as well, because she can go in there knowing that she plays her game, but also it can be a little bit of a problem and a holdback for her as well, because she doesn't know what to expect, and that's also can come with hindrances as well. But I'm gonna say that there is a slight possibility that she might be able to get through this second match as well as the first, because it's very low, 100%. Don't get me wrong, but I want to make an out there bold call that the mentality and the level will get her through. We saw her end of a very final match against Ala Tomjanovic, obviously, like I said, 4 years ago. But let's just keep the minds open, and I'm giving it like a 20-80 in favour of not getting there. But what do you think?
Yeah, another really... I would probably, similarly with you, I think there's probably about 60-40, I'm going to say, for the first round for Serena to win. And then in the second round, if we get Serena Williams against Alexandra Ayala, I think Ayala will beat Zarazua, then I would say it's probably, like you said, obviously it completely changes depending on how she plays against Maya Joint. Right, exactly. If she wins 2-2, then suddenly I say, okay, it's probably more than 50-50 that Serena wins. If she comes through 7-6 in the third, I'm almost certain Ayala's going to win. But it depends on that first round match. But I would equally say that there's probably less than 20% chance in my eyes that Serena Williams makes that third round. Another really interesting angle to this first round card is nerves from both players, not just Maya Joint. Look. The fact that Maya Joint is going to be going onto centre court against probably one of her biggest idols. One of everyone in the whole in tennis's biggest idols is Serena Williams in sport in general. Going out there on centre court when 4 months ago, even the possibility of a Serena Williams return was I mean, was out of this world to anybody, and then to think that in 4 months' time, you could be stepping out on the centre court against this legend, not just of tennis but of sport, not just of sport but global legend, has got to be absolutely nerve-wracking. But equally, I think on the Serena Williams perspective, she hasn't been there and she hasn't played a competitive singles match in 4 years. She's got to be feeling nerves too. Like, I know she's this superhuman. She's won, as I said so many times, she's won 23 slams. But she's got to be feeling nervous.
A few months ago, we were talking about how her name was put back into the drug testings and the ITIA and all this stuff, and we were like,
Yeah.
what's going on? Like, this isn't adding up, because there's no way, literally no way. If you listen to some of our podcasts before, we were like, what is she doing? Why is she doing this? And we were just had a lot of, we thought it was kind of bogus, like news, like this couldn't be normal. And then now the fact that she's here, it's just
I know.
really mind blowing.
Now
it does explain it. And
she got into that.
We should have trusted it. Yeah, we should have. But
yeah,
it's crazy.
Even though she came out to say that, I don't know why you're getting hyped or something, but like that. Well, now we know why we're all getting hyped, because you've come back to Wimbledon to play singles and doubles with Venus. Like, that's the most crazy storyline I think we've ever seen in tennis, and especially in a very, very long time. On Iga Swiatek, Kyle, I mean, it's not the best draw, I think, for Iga Swiatek. I mean, she's the defending champion. It's Taylor Townsend in the first round, which I think you have to say is pretty tough. I mean, Townsend, obviously an incredible doubles player, but she's also played some good stuff on the singles court. That's a tough first round. She's good on grass. Karolina Pliskova could be that second round opponent. I mean, she again is incredibly good on grass. She's got that. She's made the final here of Wimbledon. So early on for Iga Swiatek, there's danger, I feel. Even Teresa Valentova, who could beat Karolina Pliskova, again, she's a very talented Czech player. So yeah, I think this is not the best draw for Iga Swiatek in terms of the defending champion coming in here looking to try and get to the final again, to try and win the thing again. I mean, it would be Jasmine Paolini or Clara Tauson in the third round, which I think is probably winnable for her, and then Alina Svitolina in the fourth round, which again is a tough match, you'd have to say. So yeah, in the quarter, sorry. So I think Iga Swiatek, Carl, if you're an Iga Swiatek fan, it's not the worst draw. She hasn't got Ostapenko in the first round, but equally, like it's dangerous early on, and she's landed in the same side as Elena Rybakina, which is very tough, and yeah, Elena Svitolina quarterfinal. So it's definitely not the best draw for Iga Swiatek as the defending champion. Carl, where do you reckon she's going to get? Is she going to make that final again?
No, I don't think so. I think
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go out there, be bold, and kind of say she might get dropped out early. I feel like there's so much drive in the competitive for all these ladies now, especially in that this first round. I think it's gonna be a crazy side for the women's. I have a feeling, even though me and you both have like a lot of love, a lot of respect for Swiatek, after talking to her and
interviewed her 3 times. Last Wimbledon.
Yes, it was incredible. So it's like, I don't want to go too much against her, but I just don't feel like she will have it. She will have the drive as much. But I don't know. The past few weeks, she's been doing okay. She's been doing alright. But I don't know. Maybe it's just not like that. But you never know. It could be like last year, how we expected her. We thought she was on a horrendous run after Roland Garros. She was like, we thought she needed to take a break, skip Wimbledon, leave tennis for a bit, and I'm
pretty sure we had that conversation about skipping Wimbledon.
Yes, exactly. I think it's going to be an extremely tough one. I feel like she might go out in middle to early rounds. She might get taken by, I don't know. I feel like I don't think Ayala necessarily. I don't think Serena. I don't think don't know Paolini. I don't think Paolini.
I reckon she either she loses first or second round, or
she gets to like semis.
She gets to the semis and then loses to Rybakina. That's what I think is gonna happen with Swiatek. But yeah, again, like you said, last year no one predicted her to win. Wimbledon was her worst slam. She never even got past the fourth round. I think these are the conditions
Exactly.
I think she thrives in, when the spotlight is off her, and when we're all talking about other
Creeps
people, and
up.
we're predicting her
Yeah.
to maybe lose in the other round, and in the first round, and then she suddenly has the best tournament of her career and wins
Exactly.
Wimbledon, wins 6-love in the final against Amanda Anisimova.
Oh yeah, it's
Which
the
is, I
fact that
mean,
you've got a lot of spotlight on players like Serena now. You've got a spotlight on like
yeah,
Andreeva now. You've got a spotlight on Rebecca and so like all these other
Sabalenka.
players. Exactly. I'm thinking that
She
she's
could
just
just
gonna
sneak through.
come out, just sneak through and just take them all out like she obviously did last year. And it could be interesting again. Just like this women's draw is looking spicy, 100%.
Yeah, in terms of the second seed, Cole, Elena Rybakina, obviously on the same half as Iga Swiatek. She's got Louise Boisson, who's the French Open semi-finalist from last year, in the first round, and then she's got potentially Lina Gabriela Rousset or McNally in the second round, and Mertens in the third round. And then it would be likely, you have to say, either Noskova or Schneider in the fourth
I
round,
probably saying Schneider.
with a projected Amanda Anisimova fourth round, and then obviously a quarterfinal. Sorry. So, look, I think it's not the worst draw for Elena Rybakina. Look, those first
No,
three
not too
rounds,
bad,
in
yeah.
my eyes, are pretty good amongst the top seeds. I mean, Noskova in the third round could be a tough match. I mean, she made the quarterfinals here last year, and obviously Amanda Anisimova has landed in the same quarter. She made the final here. She played some remarkable tennis. She beat Sabalenka here last year. But she's not been in the best form. I think it's fair to say, Amanda Anisimova. And in terms of her draw, look, first round she should win that. She's playing a qualifier. Second round though, it's Sofia Kenin. That's tough. Third round is Madison Keys. Fourth round is Linda Noskova. So that means obviously Rybakina's fourth round will be most likely Diana Schneider. So Carl, I mean this draw in terms of the defending finalist Amanda Anisimova, on the face of it looks incredibly tough. Once she gets past that first round, Sofia Kenin, Grand Slam finalist, Grand Slam winner. So Madison Keys, Grand Slam champion, Linda Noskova, incredible grass court player, and then Elena Rybakina. This is incredibly tough for Amanda Anisimova, and I'm going to say it now. I don't think she's making the final. I don't think she's making the semis. I think she's probably losing either third round to Madison Keys or quarters to Elena Rybakina.
Big calls, yeah, but that's what we do out here. I just don't see the path like we saw last time. She wasn't extremely known last time, and maybe that's saying something. But even now, at the HSBC just a couple weeks ago, I kind of didn't see much from her. I remember watching a little bit of the highlights against Jovic in the quarters, obviously, and lost in 3 sets. And I don't know if this is like just a little bit of a calm time for her, just trying to slowly feel her way into the grass. If she can really get through it and stay kind of focused and locked in and get through those early rounds, I do have a feeling she'll get far. But again, I don't think this one's the time. I know it's just a feeling I've got. I don't know. She might prove me wrong, and hope so. But I'm just gonna stick with the gut, and I think she might have an upset. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think
Nothing
I agree.
against her, though.
I mean, I think it's an incredibly tough draw. I mean, Madison Keys in the third round, Grand Slam champion. I mean, couldn't get much tougher than that, really. But yeah, I reckon on that half we're probably getting we're back in a. I'm going to go Rybakina Swiatek semi. Who do you think is going to make the semi, Scar?
Rybakina Serena Williams. Wait.
No way.
Imagine
Really?
though. Imagine.
Are you going to go Serena Williams?
It's like a 1% chance.
Yeah, I mean,
Nah,
that
I'm
would
probably
be,
gonna say.
I mean, that would be like
I
the
know.
craziest story almost in sport, right? I mean, imagine
But that's what you
Serena
want,
Williams
though.
making the semis. Yeah, but it's not happening. It's not
No.
happening. She lost to
Yeah.
Harmony Tan 5 years ago at Wimbledon, 4 years ago at Wimbledon. I mean, nothing against
Yeah.
Harmony Tan, but like that hasn't kickstarted her career exactly. If you're thinking 4 years on, is she gonna, be much better than a player that lost to Harmony Tan? Is looking unlikely. I can't see her even get. I mean, I can see her beating Maya Joint because she has been in absolutely horrific form. But beyond that, I
Nick,
struggle to see
what
her getting
what
far
do you
at
think
all.
about
To be honest.
Svitolina though? What do you think about Svitolina?
Well, Svitolina's an interesting one, right? I mean, she's done extraordinarily well at Wimbledon in the past, but I mean, obviously she lost a pretty shock loss actually to Marta Kostyuk at the French Open. She's got Vekic in the potential third round. That's pretty tough. Vekic, former Wimbledon semi-finalist, and then Kostyuk again in that fourth round. So that's a tough draw considering she's lost to Marta Kostyuk in recent times. So I think she's going to lose to the winner of that lower quarter, which will probably be, in my view, Swiatek, in your view, obviously Serena Williams, each their own. But no, I mean, if you stick with that prediction of Serena Williams and it comes out, I mean, that's got to be like one of the biggest and best predictions anyone's ever made in sports history.
We'll clip that, and then it'll be
So
like,
look,
I
you're
was
risking
right.
a lot, but you're gonna if you win,
No, I
then
might
you're
as well
gonna
go
gain
with it. Yeah,
one heck of a lot. I mean, Chip and Charge's credibility is gonna get ballooned. With our prediction,
No, but
people are gonna be coming us for betting advice.
Yeah, if we actually get that right, then But I'm going off of a hype here. I'm just saying that. But if we're speaking realistically, then you're probably right. It's gonna be someone like either Svitolina or obviously Anisimova. It could be Anisimova. Like we said, it could be someone else.
Yeah.
Like you've obviously put up there. But again with Svitolina going on that topic, I think she obviously didn't have a good. She played at, where was it? Hamburg, I think. Yeah, she played Hamburg. And she beat Samsonova in the first round. And then she was injured. I think she pulled out. We'll see how she is. We'll see how she is in her. Obviously, fitness is a big thing as well. Because obviously, I'm not gonna say she's old per se, but being 31 isn't. She's past the best time of her career.
Yeah, I mean,
but she's still doing insane.
Yeah, you hope that pullout in Bad Homburg was a precautionary pullout and not a serious injury pullout, for Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously Svitolina at Wimbledon, she's played some of her very best tennis. So, look, she again, like you say, Carl, she's got the potential to make semis, to make final at Wimbledon, but I'm saying it's probably relatively unlikely this championships.
Yeah.
A couple of other good first round matches. I mean, Navarro Badosa shouts out of the page. I mean, Kruger against Vekic, incredibly good, obviously. Serena Williams against Maya Joint. Swiatek against Townsend looks incredibly good.
Mm-hmm.
Schneider against Eva Lees as well.
I'm thinking Mertens and Siegmund as well could be good.
Yeah, Siegmund obviously incredibly tricky customer. Cole, Arina Sabalenka, the world number one, at the top half of the draw. She's got Teodora Kostovic in the first round. She's a qualifier. You have to say a pretty comfortable first round for her.
Yeah,
it would probably be McCartney Kessler or Olinikova in the second round. Then Raducanu is a potential third round. Look, Raducanu, Cole, serious injury concerns around Raducanu. Obviously she's been in relatively good form. She made the final of Queens, but it's been reported that she hasn't practiced at Wimbledon in the past few days. I think she was out there today. I'm pretty sure she was out there practicing at Orangi today. But you just hope that Raducanu is in full fitness, because if she can get through to that third round, then that would be an incredible match against Arina Sabalenka, like we got last year. And obviously Ostapenko's there. That's an incredibly tough second round for Raducanu. This is like a nightmare draw for Emma Raducanu. I think Rusic in the first round, incredibly talented Croatian. Then Ostapenko, then Sabalenka. It does not get much worse, Carl, for an injured player at Wimbledon.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be even hard for her to win the first round. Not because of the player, but because of where her mental state is at. You know, she's got a lot of hype around her, not just because it's Wimbledon and not just because she's British, but because she's also done so well. You know, recently in her past few grass court tournaments.
Yeah.
You know, making the finals. Um, playing obviously losing out to Vekic in such a close match. Yeah, it was 6-0 in the first set, but then 7-6 in the second. And you know, I feel like she has a lot in her, but just not now. I just don't think it's the right time for her. So obviously, her injuries and stuff are going to be the highlight of what she's going to be focusing on and what everyone else is going to be focusing on. So I'm not going to put too much high hopes on Raducanu so far, but we'll 100% be backing her in this Wimbledon in the first round, especially, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, you just always pray with Raducanu that you get an injury-free Raducanu, because that's been so rare in the past for us ever since she's won the US Open. So, I mean, it's about, it's that endless, entourage of carousel of injuries that Raducanu suffered. You feel incredibly bad for her because she's not ever got used to tour life week in, week out, because she's been so injured. And yeah, an incredibly tough draw, but if she can get through it, that would obviously be incredible for her. Predicted fourth round would be Naomi Osaka, incredibly fun, or Leylah Fernandez. But again, Osaka, there's injury concerns. She had to pull out in her final today against Mukova. Karolina Mukova's also there below that. Sabalenka's predicted quarterfinal would be up against Mira Andreeva, who is the French Open champion. And then in the semi-finals, a predicted semi-final opponent for Aryna Sabalenka would of course be Coco Gauff, but I reckon that's probably quite unlikely. I mean, it's more likely, in my view, to be Jessica Pegula. This is a tough draw for Sabalenka past maybe the second round. I mean, Raducanu, and then Osaka, and then you'd have to say probably Mira Andreeva, and then Jessica Pegula. The draw doesn't get much tougher than this for Aryna Sabalenka, I think. I mean, yeah, it looks... I mean, I'm probably predicting her to get through it, but Mira Andreeva in the quarters is an incredibly tough quarterfinal match.
Yeah, I'm going to put Sabalenka to probably, have her first real struggle either against Naomi Osaka if she does play really well, or even probably after that into the quarterfinals where she's either going to play someone. I'm thinking Mukova and Mira Andreeva will be a tough one in there, but I think Mira Andreeva could get through that one, and then it might be Sabalenka and Andreeva. And then, I don't actually know. That one's going to be really difficult because I think Mira Andreeva is playing extremely, extremely well right now. And then, whoever takes through that one, I probably would still say Sabalenka. But then you can argue that someone like... I honestly think after Andreeva, I think she's okay. I think no one
if she
in the
gets
draw
through
is
that, that's a
screaming
big
at me.
confidence booster.
Yeah. Exactly, and I'm thinking like you got Pegula, but I think Sabalenka takes that. I think their head-to-head is sorely in Sabalenka's favour. Belinda Bencic, no, I don't think she takes that. Jovic, don't think so. And then all the other seeds, Coco Gauff, maybe she can get through it, and I think do what she does best and kind of really fight, get stuck in that one, and really make it close, but. I still think Sabalenka is just a bit ahead above Coco for now, Nick.
I mean, Gauff's an interesting one, right? Because she's been in pretty poor form, I think it's fair to say. Like, I mean, not horrific form. She's not losing every first round, but like, the serve's been in a difficult spot, the forehand's been in a difficult spot, and she's just, in my opinion, not playing her very best tennis. And look, I probably think she'd lose to Jessica Pegula in my view in the quarterfinals if they were to play, and I think Pegula would make the semis against Aryna Sabalenka and potentially even beat Aryna Sabalenka. That's the form that Pegula's been in.
Obviously, how I'm going to kind of say that Coco Gauff in slams. I think the mentality and the strength it shifts a little bit. Yes, maybe in the lower WTA tour events, she might be a little bit off, and she's working on the technique on her serve and forehand and stuff. And yes, I agree, it definitely hasn't been top. But then when you move to players like in the slam, then I think obviously if she does get through those first rounds, which if she doesn't play well, it could be a no-go for her. It could be out straight. But then if she does get through that and she does find some consistency, Pegula is just going to just wear her down. We all know how Pegula plays. She's an extremely consistent, high-level player. She's a good counter-puncher. She stays kind of towards the back and just kind of grinds you out and wears you down kind of. She's not going to be an incredible hard hitter hitting a ton of winners, but she's not also going to make she's also going to have a very little amount of unforced errors. So it's probably going to be a lot on Coco's racket, you know what I mean? And it does just come down to how she is feeling and what she's doing in this first kind of couple rounds before she plays him.
Yeah, I mean, Goff, she's lost in the third round of the French. She lost in the first round of her only grass court event in Berlin to Paula Badosa. I think she's in poor form, and like you say, she's the master of winning ugly. She plays some of her very best tennis at Wimbledon, but she's had those shock losses at Wimbledon in recent times, to Yastremska last year, and then obviously Navarro 2 years ago at Wimbledon. Like, she's had a lot of early losses at Wimbledon.
This is first round as well.
It's not been her best event, her best slam by any means, and she could play well, but she could easily play winning ugly, and she could get through some rounds. But I'm predicting Pegula. She made the final in her last grass court event to get through that. But yeah, I mean, it's incredibly competitive, and there's a lot of very good Americans, on that side of the draw as well. Goff, Pegula, Anisimovan's there. They're all in shouts where you wouldn't be surprised if they won this whole thing. The level of American players at the moment on the women's side of things, and the men's side of Tiafoe, Fritz, Shelton is truly incredible. Carl, the men's half of the draw, I think the place where we have to start is the number one, Jannik Sinner at the top half of the draw. It's Miomir Kecmanovic in the first round. It's potentially Brooksby or Boucher in the second round. You have to probably say it's Boucher there, and then it'd be Darderi in the third round, with a potential Daniel Medvedev fourth round, and then that quarterfinal probably against Daniel Medvedev. You'd probably have to say. So, I mean, from a Jannik Sinner perspective, I mean, he's landed obviously in the same side of the draw as Novak Djokovic. That would be the potential semi-final. I think the biggest storyline, the biggest thing that Sinner would be able to lose to would be the weather. That's what we saw at the French Open. That's what we saw so many times with Jannik Sinner. He's lost because of the heat, or he's lost because it's extended, beyond 3 hours 50 minutes. Like, the heat wave in the UK, I think, is over as of tomorrow, which I think everyone in the UK is breathing a sigh of relief. It's predicted to be 23 degrees, I think, throughout the whole of the first week. So nothing like...
That's nice. Nice.
Yeah, that is an absolute saviour for Jannik Sinner. That's like perfect conditions for playing tennis. And yeah, Carl, you have to say that I think he comes through pretty comfortably. I think he gets through to that quarterfinal pretty comfortably. Daniel Medvedev's his quarterfinal opponent, but he's not been in the very best of form. He's lost, especially Grand Slam form. He's lost first round of the French Open. He's had some absolutely shocking Grand Slam results in the past 2 years, and I'm the biggest Daniel Medvedev fan, but I'm not even confident he's making that quarterfinal, because he's got Marin Cilic in the first round, which is tough. Nakashima, who's a great grass court player, would be his third round opponent. So yeah, I mean, it's predicted to be a Daniel Medvedev Sinner quarterfinal. I don't even think we're going to see that. I think potentially maybe a Tommy Paul Nakashima quarterfinal opponent for Jannik Sinner. But I think overall, to get to that semi-final, I think Sinner's pretty devoid of bother unless the heat starts ramping up.
Yeah, I don't have any high hopes for players like maybe Rudd. I do have high hopes for. He could put a test, but still,
Casper Rudd.
Yannick's really
on grass.
No, but like he's just been okay. He's been doing okay. Like you can't.
Grass is like Wimbledon is his his holiday tournament. Like he's in London not to win. He's in London to have a good time and to experience London.
What? So we're saying you think he's gonna go out to her catch first round?
Yeah, 100, almost 100%. Like Casper Ruud he's lost to Alex Bolt. I think he's lost to Fabio.
He's given up.
Maybe
He's given up on the
Fini.
grass.
Yeah, like no. I mean, he's never even tried Casper Ruud. There's no question about it. He's never even played a warm-up tournament. Like he's won like a handful of matches in his entire career on grass. I mean, there's no way.
The grass, so he just leaves it.
Yeah.
Leaves
the
it for
whole
the
grass
grass.
court swing is his break. He has 2 off seasons, Casper Ruud. He has
2.
He has the actual off season and the grass court swing. Like Hubert Hurkacz. It's got to be like that. Hubert Hurkacz can suddenly steal Casper Ruud's draw. I feel. I feel
Okay,
like,
If he does that, then that is great. Obviously, I wouldn't bet on Ruud to go.
Watch
crazy
Ruud win the tournament. Now I've gone that monologue.
now that you said that, this is his warm up season, this is his take and break, and then he just goes and thrash, beats everyone. But no, I think Sinner's Sinner's toughest test could be Tommy Paul, but again he hasn't been on form. Nakashima as well has been
final
of
Queens.
Yeah. Nakashima, I think he's been doing really well, and what he's gonna have to play Sinner in the 4th round. If he it's quarters, it's quarters. If he obviously gets through Medvedev, but then Medvedev is Medvedev. The octopus can slip his way through everyone, and he can, and yeah, I've got him going to play. That's what I've wrote here to play Sinner in that quarters, and then again Medvedev could give Sinner a test, but I would also say the monk. I'm gonna call him the monk. Felix Auger-Aliassime in the bottom half.
Why?
Have you not seen his new haircut?
Oh. Yeah. I mean, he's had that for a while now. I'd say.
Yeah, but especially at Wimbledon, I think he's done it even shorter, mate. Or he's had a fresh enough. I think.
Yeah.
And he's coming with the vibes. I think he's focused. And he has been playing well, to be honest. But then you've got Djokovic in that other quarter as well, and you can't really count him out of anything. I think I was kind of talking to someone I think on the train yesterday, and they were saying how Djokovic, this could be his last real good chance, because people were saying he's only going to win a slam if he doesn't have to play Sinner and Alcaraz, either if it's going to be back to back or just in general, and it's probably going to be back to back because he's going to be quite high up there, and yes, he is seventh seed, so he's going to only be facing Yannick in the semis. So luckily, Alcaraz isn't in, so then you've got Djokovic to potentially play Sinner, but you've got that wild card who is not a wild card, but Fonseca. Honestly, Nick, even though he's a 24th seed, even though he's from Brazil, grass might not be his preferred surface. We both saw him play and warm up and stuff last year, and I think he's had his time. He's done. Yeah, he was warming up with Alcaraz, and I think he's done so good in the past few months, and he's really raised his level. I have no doubt that he's going to put up, even if it isn't a tough test, he's going to win. I think if Djokovic doesn't get past Fonseca and he loses in the 4th round, it's going to be career defining, and I think I'm going to stick with that. And Fonseca's the real dark horse for me here, because if he gets through,
so you've got Fonseca beating Djokovic.
I think Fonseca will beat Djokovic.
A repeat of the French Open.
A repeat of the French.
Yeah. I mean it. Look, I mean,
but then he's
I wouldn't
get through Rublev as well.
Yeah, purely because of his grass court form. I don't know enough about where he is on grass. He could be he could be the best player we've ever seen on grass court. I mean, I think it's unlikely. His game, I think, doesn't quite suit the grass. He's got a slightly more spinny game style. It suits clay and hard.
You've got a flatter game style, really. The guy absolutely twits the ball. On his
on his forehand, but
especially.
yeah, I mean, I mean, obviously, sometimes he just completely unleashes it, that forehand and just smacks it. But I think generally his building style is potentially more suited to a clay court. But he's obviously had some incredible results on
I
the
hear
clay.
it, yeah.
But also the movement's completely different on grass. You know, you could be slipping and sliding everywhere if you just haven't got that experience. And like you said, Carl, I mean, like the person on the train said as well. I mean, I think this is Djokovic's last ever chance of winning a slam, 100%. I think the biggest thing for Novak Djokovic is, obviously, if he manages to get through Joao Fonseca this time, is that he keeps those early matches as short as possible against Wu Yibing, against it'd probably be Tsitsipas in that second round, which would be incredible. You know, Tsitsipas Djokovic, that used to be Grand Slam finals. Now it's going to be a Grand Slam second round. Like, that is ludicrous, and he might not even make it if he loses to Hugo Gaston. But yeah, like, Novak Djokovic does not want to be out on court for even 2 hours. He wants to be absolutely clinical and win with dropping it the most minimal games he possibly can, because he has to preserve all of his energy for those latter stages when he's going to have to beat Yannick Sinner, and when he's going to have to beat someone in the final, probably Zverev, maybe someone else as we come on to talk about, you know, maybe like a Shelton, a De Minaur, a Humbert, an Artifice, a Taylor Fritz, someone like that. You know, to beat Sinner and then one of those players back to back, he's going to have his full fitness, and the only way he's going to have that is if in those first 4 matches he wins with ease. And like you said, I mean, Fonseca, seeing that name there already, or even Rublev in the third round is, I mean, not a nightmare, but it's a tough draw, I think, for Djokovic. And seeing Aliassim as his potential quarterfinal opponent, again, pretty tough. So yeah, I'm still, like I said in our last pod, I think Djokovic is winning. I'm the whole tournament. I'm sticking with that. You know, I think to be honest, having Sinner in that semi-final is an advantage for him, because he's going to be. I mean, I'm jumping ahead of myself a lot here. I acknowledge, but like, he's going to be. Yeah, but he's going to be like in better fitness in the semi-final than he is going to be in the final, simply because he would have played more tennis to get to the final than the semi-final. So I think that's probably the way around Djokovic wanted it. And look, I'm going to predict Djokovic to win, because we know how much he so eagerly wants that 25th slam, and you know the amount of times he's been in slam finals where he's probably had that 25th t-shirt or that 25th jumper in his bag with you know, number 25, breaking the Open era record of any male or female to win 25 Grand Slams, is something we know he wants to do, because he's so, you know, interested, and he's so keen on the numbers, on the data, on the stats, that we know that this is in the forefront of his mind. And he's got, you know, this year's got to be his last ever opportunity to do it, and I don't see any better opportunity in this Wimbledon with no Alcaraz to win the entire thing. Yeah, right now I'm calling it. Yeah. Obviously, right if he goes to 5 against Yibing Wu in the first round, I'm going to change that immediately. But you know, I reckon he gets through the first rounds. Look,
the train tennis talk guy would have a field trip, because he said that as well.
We need to get him on the pod.
Get him on the pod, mate. I think actually, you get on the train. I think.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to find him again unless I get on a train. So I think you get on a train, and
hopefully he's listening. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did put him on the pod. So, yeah, but that's gonna be great. I think
good marketing.
Obviously, you've got a lot of other top guys. I think we can like run through, like you've the Brits as well. You've got the qualifier, Oliver Tavet, who's got through, which is incredible already. He's done that twice now in a row, and now he's playing Arthur Rinderknecht in the first round. Extremely tough round, you know, but you know, it's got to happen. Cameron Norrie up there, who's the 26th seed, playing Michael Zhang. He's been okay, but I think it's going to be a tough one for him. You know, he's obviously, I think maybe he could get to the third round, maybe. Excuse me, and then play Aliassim.
He's not beating Aliassim, is he? I mean, I struggle to see that.
I don't think so. Yeah, definitely. And then even higher, we could put players like another qualifier who came up from the the earlier days we were watching was Max Basing, who's from GB as well, who's got Japanese
Went to Stanford.
Shintaro Mochizuki, another qualifier again. But then these guys are going to have a tough time. They're going to be extreme underdogs playing people like Darderi, and obviously if you look even higher, you might even get Sinner in that kind of round. But yeah, Nick, this top half, I think, who are your matches to look out for, not just in the British side but overall for these first round?
Yeah, I mean, the top half is the heavy half, right? I mean, we'll come on to talk about the bottom half, but I feel like that there's much more opportunities for players that haven't maybe got to the latter ends of slams than there is in the top half. I mean, Sinner, Oda, Tommy Poole, even Rudd, even though I just talked about that how he's going to lose first round almost 100%. Nakashima, Aliassime, Daniel Medvedev, even Cam Norrie. I mean, Lerner Tien, Yao Fonseca, Novak Djokovic. Like, it is stacked on the top half of the draw. I've still predicted Djokovic to get through, but I mean, the first round matches to look out for. I'm certainly going to be watching Sinner, Kekmanovic. Just on a Brit perspective, there's a lot of Brits up there. Felix Gill as well is playing Oda. That'll be interesting to see how he does there. Shapovalov, Karina Buster. I mean, that's a match you would have predicted to see in about 2020 at about a quarter-final. Shapovalov, Karina Buster of a slam. You've got Casper Ruud against Hubert Hurkacz, despite having said what I've said about Ruud on grass. Darderi against Ethan Quinn should be a good match, I reckon. Jack Pennington Jones, the wild card from Britain, playing Brandon Nakashima. Obviously, Medvedev Cilic is probably the match I'm going to be watching the most out of any first round match. I mean, Cilic, we know the upside. He's won a slam. 2 slam champions playing each other in the first round. Aliassime Shevchenko, that should be a good match as well. Davidovich Fekino against Juan Manuel Cerundolo. Rublev against Safulin. Safulin's made the quarters here. And obviously Djokovic. Any match with Djokovic you're going to want to watch, as well as Fonseca against Bautista Agut. Tarvek, Carl, I think, as well, has actually got an all-right opportunity to maybe get even to the third round and play with Djokovic. I mean, Rinderknecht is a tough first round, but if he gets through that, he's got Trungiletti or Martin Dam. It's not the worst draw for a Brit in that stage to potentially play the match of your life against Novak Djokovic.
Exactly, yeah. We're really going to be supporting the Brits and looking forward to it on both sides of the tournament. Here, obviously, the bottom half as well. We can just quickly go through that. Obviously, you've got, like you've already said, you've got Billy Harris and Kachanov. You've got, again, one of my favourites. Obviously biased, but Toby Samuel versus Jakub Mensik. Nick, that's going to be extremely tough. But we'll be backing him all the way throughout there. And then you could have Dimitrov. What do you think with Dimitrov? Obviously, being in and out with injuries and stuff, could he get through, or you don't think so? He's got it in him though.
We know he's got him in it. We know he's got it in him. I mean, he's played against Yannick Sinner last year on centre court. He was 2 sets to love up on the eventual champion. We know he can produce that level, but. I mean, it's been an absolutely horrid time since then for Grigor Dimitrov. I mean, he's struggled to get wins. He went to a challenger event in the lead up to this Wimbledon. Like, he's had a really tough time, and you really feel for Grigor Dimitrov. But Dane Sweeney, like a qualifier who's playing well in qualifying, I reckon it's not the toughest draw for Grigor Dimitrov. I mean, obviously, Sweeney's going to be very, very match tight, unlike Grigor Dimitrov. Obviously, the wild card, but. Yeah, I mean, Toby Samuel, Carl, I think it's a very tough draw. I mean, Jakub Mensik, 15th seed, then potentially Dimitrov, then potentially Artifice or Berrettini or Arinka. I mean, that part of the draw, Carl, is stacked with your favourites. I mean, Berrettini and Toby Samuel.
It is.
Potential third round there. I mean,
I know, yeah.
You'll be watching
that
at any hour of the day.
The Grand Slam. Yeah, any time I'm up and I'm there.
Yeah, Wawrinka Berrettini is a fantastic first round. Cole, I mean, we'll probably have to talk about Alexander Zverev. I mean, he's obviously the French Open champion of this year. We didn't even talk about that because obviously we were away for reasons we haven't yet disclosed. He's got Alexander Blokh in the first round. He's got Arnadi in the third round. Potentially, Carl, he's probably got Francis Tiafoe or Alexander Bublik. That would be an incredible match if we managed to get that in the third round. And then it would be most likely projected to be either Ben Shelton or or Taylor Fritz. Carl, I think this Zverev draw, I think, is relatively comfortable to get into the quarters, certainly the semis, but there is a world of opportunity for so many players here. Shelton, Fritz, Draper, Artifice, they all jump to mind. Flavio Cobolli, the French Open finalist, Jakub Menšik, Di Manor, all of those players, Carl, you can make a case for making the semis, potentially even making the final, potentially making quarters. I think it's so open, and any of those players want to take this opportunity because, that opportunity that, they had. I think there's obviously with Alcaraz out of the French Open, with him now out of Wimbledon as well. There is just a massive gap in the draw, and one of these players, Carl, is going to have to fill it. From a Brit perspective, Jack Draper against Taylor Fritz is a nightmare draw for Jack Draper, isn't it? Especially with his injury concerns that he's had in Eastbourne against Ugo Humbert. I mean, he's really timid on that forehand, but he's with Andy Murray. We haven't talked about that. He's with Andy Murray in his coaching box, and
exactly.
I mean, it's tough for Jack Draper, really, isn't it? This draw.
Well, yeah, you can't really look away from him if he's got Fritz first round. I'm not gonna say that he can't do it, because we definitely both know that he can, and he has done in the past and gotten further than Fritz has in slams, especially in the recent few years. But just, with injuries and coming back to it, there's I'm not gonna say there's not much hope, but I think Fritz is focused. I think Fritz has got this one. He's been playing well. Obviously, he did just lose to TFO in the Tara Workman Open, and obviously TFO has been doing really well as well. But Fritz lost in the final though, in that tournament. But I think he's still an extreme competitor. Both players, Jack Draper and Fritz, will 100% be backing Jack Draper. But I would have to say Fritz to get through, and then probably play Etcheverry. I think Fritz gets through Etcheverry, and then maybe TFO Bublik, Nick. That's going to be a tough one. What's your thoughts on that?
TFO Bublik potentially third round. I mean, I think you'd probably go lean Tiafoe right now. I mean, he won in Halle, but Bublik can do anything. I mean, he's incredible on the grass. He's beaten Sinner on the grass. He's won Halle multiple times. So depending on what version of Bublik turns up, if the best version of Bublik turns up, I'm giving him, I'm predicting him to beat Tiafoe to get to that fourth round against Zverev. Well, I'd probably say Zverev, you've got to say he's a favourite, but Bublik Kokkinakis is an incredible first round as well. But I reckon I'm probably at the moment just about saying Tiafoe comes through it, especially considering his recent form.
Yeah, and then obviously after that we could go through Leheshka Poprin, another really good one, and Cerundolo to take on Jaume Munar, another good match. Then obviously you got Jacob Fernandez, the Brit, who could potentially play in that next round, but Alex Mikkelsen's a tough one as well for me, Nick. But yeah, what are you saying?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really interested in that top quarter, that third quarter. I mean, so you've got De Minaur there. You've obviously got your seeded top seeded players are Ben Shelton and De Minaur, 5th and 4th seeds. You've got Humbert, you've got Artifice, you've got Jakub Menšik, who's made the semis of the French Open. You've got Cobolli, who made the final. You've got Karen Khachanov, who's a huge pro, who just goes out there and wins the matches he's supposed to. You've got Alejandro Tobio. Khachanov Harris also should be a very good match and one to watch as Brits. And you've got Dimitrov there as well. You've got Wawrinka there. You've got Berrettini there. God, there's so many top players, but not very, very, very top players in that side of the draw, if you know what I mean. And I think you can make an argument for De Minaur to make the quarters. I think you can make an argument to make the semis. Sorry, I think you can make an argument for Artifice, Jakub Menšik, Cobolli, and Shelton. I reckon any of those ones could come through. Who do you think is going to make that semi-final, Carl?
Just watching De Minaur, his tennis, his pure tenacity probably beats a lot of these lower seeds. I think he could struggle against probably Shelton, maybe Mensik, maybe Arthur Fils. But I probably would. No, I don't want to do that. I wanted to first go Dimignon, but I actually want to go Ben Shelton.
Yeah, I agree. I think Shelton. I mean, he obviously introduces the pod, so regular listeners of the pod will obviously recognise his voice.
Can't not really,
we
can
can't.
you?
Yes,
You know?
it was this time last year actually that we got him to do the intro. So thank you for a year's service. Obviously, he does that every single time live for us. But
We
yeah,
just hit him
I
up
think
and we're like, yo, Ben, can you just like say it again, please? And again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the drill at this point now.
But yeah, I agree. I think Shelton. I mean, his serve is unbelievable, and on the grass, it's
Weapon,
amplified. Kaboli, I mean, he's not had the best grass season so far, but obviously he's made the final of the French, so you cannot deny him the fact that he could easily make the semi there. Menchik as well. I hate to say it, Carl. I'm predicting him to beat Toby Samuel, and even Berrettini, someone who's made the final here. But I'm gonna make the call that Berrettini might lose to Wawrinka in that first round. Wawrinka's obviously Wawrinka's final ever Wimbledon, the end of an era, Stan the man. But yeah, Carl, I would say we probably get, like you said, I think we probably get a Ben Shelton, Alexander Zverev final, semi-final. Sorry, with Zverev to come through, I reckon, or potentially Ben Shelton to come through into the final. Actually, I'm going to say Shelton. Shelton's coming through on that bottom of the draw. Shelton Djokovic final.
I think I go big. I go big with Shelton to beat Zverev, and I want Djokovic to do it, but Sinner's reigning champion, Sinner's on lock, perfect conditions. I don't think Djokovic can do it this time, so I'm gonna go Sinner Shelton.
There you go. Here, 2 weeks' time, it will probably be Toby Samuel against
yourself.
Max
It'll be
Basin.
Toby Samuel Djokovic. No, sorry, not Djokovic.
Yeah, Toby Samuel Djokovic. Toby Samuel to win, obviously.
Obviously, and it could happen.
Thank you very much.
Toby Samuel Djokovic final.
Yeah, that could definitely happen. 100%. Thank you very much for listening today. Obviously, Wimbledon kicks underway in 2 days' time. Here on the Chip and Charge Tennis Podcast, we'll be with you, hopefully after every single round, to discuss it all. Thank you very much for listening to our Draw Show special, and we'll speak to you very soon here on Chip and Charge. Thank you.
Thank you.